I was single for quite a long time, in the early 80s.
It's about looking things differently, and I think that's one of the strengths that we have as dyslexics.
A quiet royal rebellion is making headlines. Princess Beatrice has allegedly discovered something in her DNA that changed everything. Insiders say it's not just a scandal, it's betrayal. She cut ties and vanished from royal circles. What really happened? Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button for more untold royal truths. Born into one of the world's most famous families, Princess Beatrice entered royal life on August 8, 1988. She was welcomed at the Portland Hospital in London as the first child of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. As Queen Elizabeth II's fifth grandchild, her life was steeped in tradition from the very beginning. Her christening took place at the Chapel Royal in St. James's Palace, with godparents drawn from both noble and personal circles. What stood out from the start was how tightly knit her family was. Yet, her name remained under wraps for nearly 2 weeks after birth, an unusual move that hinted at a deeply protective approach from her parents.
Pop into your head, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not, why am I not like the others?
Education was always a priority. She began at Upton House School, then moved to Coworth Park, and eventually St. George's School in Ascot. At just 7, Beatrice was diagnosed with dyslexia, a challenge she faced head-on. She even delayed her GCSE exams by a year, determined to excel despite setbacks. Her hard work paid off. She earned an A in drama, B's in history and film studies, and was eventually chosen as head girl, proof of the respect she commanded among peers. Her school choir performances added joy to her structured academic life. After completing her education, Beatrice didn't rest on royal titles. She took on jobs that grounded her in the real world. Her first major experience was at Selfridges, where she worked as a sales assistant. Far removed from royal banquets, this was her introduction to everyday work life. She briefly worked at the Foreign Office's press department and even explored opportunities at the Financial Times website.
Great ideas have more of an opportunity to foster great innovations.
Hinting at her curiosity about business and media. In 2009, Beatrice stepped into a new spotlight, appearing in a non-speaking role in the film The Young Victoria. This made her the first member of the royal family to appear in a fictional movie, breaking an unspoken boundary. Her professional journey continued with an internship at Sony Pictures. But following a major cyber incident at the company, she chose to step away. That experience tested her resilience, yet she handled it without fanfare. In 2015, she relocated to New York City, pursuing a life less bound by tradition. By 2017, she had a full-time role and was splitting her time between London and New York. At Paternity, a tech firm, she serves as Vice President of Partnerships and Strategy. Her focus? Empowering women in leadership across the globe. In 2019, Princess Beatrice stepped into a new chapter, one centered on love and family.
I'm headmistress and she's very fine with that, and I've told her the situation, and it's especially with all the press and everything.
She appeared at a gala alongside Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, a successful property developer with noble Italian roots. His family's aristocratic title, Count, may no longer be officially recognized by Italy, but it carries history and influence within elite circles. Their relationship moved swiftly. By May 2019, the couple was attending royal weddings together, and in September they got engaged while visiting Italy. The engagement announcement came directly from her father's office. Initially, their wedding was planned as a grand royal affair, complete with a ceremony at St. James's Palace and a reception at Buckingham Palace. But the global health crisis in 2020 forced cancellations and delays. Eventually, on July 17, 2020, they married in a quiet, private ceremony at the Royal Chapel of All Saints in Windsor. The event wasn't even publicly announced in advance. Despite the scale-down, it was deeply meaningful.
I think they're feeling really confident. They have a very rigorous safety team who've taken...
Beatrice wore a vintage Norman Hartnell gown loaned by the Queen and the same tiara Queen Elizabeth had worn at her own wedding. In marrying Edoardo, Beatrice also became a stepmother to his young son. In September 2021, she welcomed their daughter Sienna. Her second daughter, Athena, arrived in January 2025. What sets Beatrice's children apart from their royal cousins isn't just their family connections. It's their inherited nobility. Through Edoardo's Italian heritage, both Sienna and Athena are eligible for noble titles, even if they hold no official British royal designation. While British traditions grant titles only to monarchs' grandchildren, Italian custom is different. Edoardo's family descends from a countship bestowed in 1913, and although Italy no longer recognizes noble titles legally, they are still passed down symbolically.
To just try and raise awareness and shine a spotlight on an issue.
This means Siena and Athena can be considered countesses or noble donna, which gives them a unique blend of modernity and aristocracy. It's an intriguing contrast to their cousins, children of Princess Eugenie, for example, who aren't entitled to any titles due to their distance from the throne. In this quiet intersection of two worlds, British royalty and Italian nobility, Beatrice's daughters carry a legacy unlike any other, one that echoes tradition without being defined by it. Then came the whisper that changed everything. It started as just that, a whisper, a rumor, but it quickly gained traction. Multiple tabloid stories hinted that a private DNA test had revealed something unexpected about Princess Beatrice's lineage. The story, never confirmed but widely circulated, suggested that Prince Andrew might not be her biological father. Suddenly, the whispers became headlines. Allegedly, the DNA didn't match. Some sources claimed an anonymous tipster leaked the results. Others pointed to a private investigator who had been digging into old files. Whatever the source, the story refused to die. It was never officially addressed by Buckingham Palace, but the silence only made things louder. Royal watchers began dissecting photos.
My work life and my other life can sort of combine and you can spend...
Noting the changing dynamic between Beatrice and her father. No more shared events, no more public posts. It was as if she had quietly drawn a line. People close to the family said she was devastated. Others described her as determined to protect her peace. What remained clear was that her relationship with Prince Andrew had changed. Where there had once been warm smiles and family appearances, now there was distance, both in public and, reportedly, in private. The question hung in the air. If the rumor were true, what did that mean for the family's legacy? For Beatrice's place in the royal line, there were no easy answers, only speculation and silence. But for Beatrice, it seems the alleged revelation pushed her to make the most personal decision of all. While the story swirled in the public sphere, the royal family kept to their usual strategy.
I see myself as a mini mummy. So I kind of have this...
Say nothing. No denial, no statement, no explanation. But for those watching closely, Beatrice's actions spoke volumes. She gradually stopped referencing her father online. Her social media, once peppered with throwback photos of family moments, began focusing solely on her children, husband, and charitable projects. The shift was subtle, but unmistakable. In public, the change was just as clear. Beatrice, once frequently seen by Prince Andrew's side, was now attending events solo or accompanied only by her husband. At major gatherings, their distance was noticeable. No warm greetings, no shared smiles, just a carefully maintained separation. Those who knew the family said Beatrice had started asking hard questions long before the rumors became public.
But I have simply no recollection of a photograph.
But the DNA story, whether true or not, seemed to be the breaking point. Meanwhile, her sister Eugenie kept a lower profile. Some believed she stayed neutral, offering quiet support to both sides. Others thought she simply chose not to get involved. Still, amid the swirling speculation, Beatrice didn't speak out. She didn't argue or confirm. She simply moved differently. And sometimes that's louder than words. All of this unfolded while the monarchy itself was under enormous strain. King Charles had recently confirmed health complications, and Princess Kate had also revealed medical concerns. These developments brought uncertainty to the highest levels of royal leadership. Prince William, seen as the future of the crown, was now juggling more than ever: family health, royal duties, and public expectations. And with fewer young royals actively working, there was a visible gap.
Group of youngsters who were left behind. I suspect there was an argument about who got the rocking horse.
This instability was compounded by the public's growing demand for openness. In an era of constant updates and transparency, the royal family's strategy of silence felt outdated to many. Every unanswered question fueled new headlines. With Andrew's status diminished and Harry and Meghan no longer part of royal duties, the institution looked increasingly fragile. And the absence of clear communication only deepened that impression. It was in this uncertain climate that Beatrice's quiet retreat from royal life gained even more attention. Despite the turmoil, Beatrice may still play a part in the monarchy's future, just not in the traditional way. Prince William has made it clear that the royal family must modernize to stay relevant. That includes bringing younger, relatable faces to the forefront. Beatrice, with her calm presence and real-world career, fits the mold of a modern royal. Though she's never held an official working role, she's increasingly appeared at public events alongside cousins like Zara Tindall and Peter Phillips. These appearances are more than coincidence. They reflect a quiet reshuffling, an effort to include the younger generation in ways that resonate with the public. From garden parties to charity events, Beatrice's visibility is growing. William's strategy seems to echo that of Queen Elizabeth II, who often leaned on her cousins to support the crown during demanding times. Beatrice could be part of that same playbook, an adaptable royal with modern values and old-world ties. Whether or not she formally returns to royal duty, her presence signals that the family is evolving. Slowly but surely, the monarchy is being reshaped, not by declarations but by the people who choose to show up when it matters most. The rumored DNA revelation hasn't been proven, but that hardly matters. In the court of public opinion, perception is everything. And the perception is clear. Something shifted. Beatrice's withdrawal from her father isn't just a personal choice. It's symbolic. It hints at deeper questions about identity, loyalty, and legacy. If she truly has stepped away from Prince Andrew, it could mark a permanent divide within the family. It also raises questions about how much influence personal stories will have on the monarchy's future. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into royal stories like this, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned.